All right, so today for this video, I am in a different place. I've got little Ona on one side, little Bamboo on the other, keeping me warm because it is very cold in my house right now. And today I'm continuing along the lines of this mindset shift that we're talking about as far as nutrition and diet. I wanted to talk a little bit about why it is important to let go of using the scale as your only measure of progress when you're looking to change your body. Because it can get really, really frustrating when you feel like you're sort of doing everything right or you're making a lot of effort and you're not seeing that number on the scale doing what you believe it should be doing. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not progressing. So, reason number one why we need to stop depending on the scale for our progress is the scale lies. The reason that the scale lies is obviously it doesn't lie. Like gravity is exerting this amount of pressure on your body. So the number on the scale is accurate. However, the number on the scale doesn't tell you if your body is changing, and that's why it lies. I use with a lot of my clients, I have them take photos as well as weighing themselves, because a lot of the time we'll look at photos and we see a big difference, or we do see a difference, but the scale isn't necessarily showing the same thing. So when we are only depending on the scale, that can be really frustrating because it's actually lying about whether you're progressing or not. And another reason why we need to stop controlling or depending on the scale is because you can't control what the scale says. As much as you want to, as much as you close your eyes and look at the scale and say, change. You can't actually change what the number on the scale says. You can, however, change your behaviors. You can change what foods you eat, how you move, how you sleep, how you're managing your stress, how much food you're eating. And that is all going to be an input that is going to be a factor that changes the scale. But when we're just focusing on the number on the scale, we're forgetting about all of these other things. And so we need to think critically, not about what does this number say or what does this number say about me. We need to think about what are the behaviors that I'm doing in my daily life that are going to contribute to this change. And this one's really important. The scale is not the only measure of progress. And in fact, your body size is not the only measure of progress. We need to look at a lot of other things. For example, you can do a fat loss diet and your health can go into the shitter. So we want to make sure that if we're looking, if we are looking to lose weight or to lose fat, that there's a couple different things in place. One, are you in a position to be doing that in a healthy way right now? If you're coming to me and you've been consistently under eating or undernourishing yourself, like eating very little vitamins and minerals, eating, not enough protein, we want to make sure that you actually are eating enough food before we look at, hey, what can we do to get you to start losing some body fat? And often, what we do see is when we start actually nourishing ourselves, that's when our bodies actually start to change, rather than when we're in this continuous cycle of like eat less, move more. And then the last thing that I want to say is that the scale is actually going to contribute to failure if that is the only measure that you are using to dictate your progress and how you're doing and whether you're having success or you're failing. And so we want to think about a few things. One, the scale is not going to move as quickly as you want it to, unless you're doing very drastic measures. And those drastic measures, for example, like doing a fast or doing a cleanse, we know that that isn't going to last in the long run. And so if you are literally just looking to look on the scale and see a lower number, then by all means do one of those crazy diets. But if you're looking to preserve your health, if you're looking to really actually change your body, and if you're looking to find something that is going to be sustainable in the long term, we need to focus on these behaviors that are going to be the inputs into the scale and into body change, and not just the outputs, which is like, how do my pants fit? How much do I weigh? How many calories am I eating? Like those things, those gauges of success, we need to change them a little bit. We need to remember that long-term change takes time. And so everybody wants to lose weight quickly, everybody wants to change their body quickly, but we need to look at, what got you to where you are right now? Why do you actually want to make these changes to yourself? And what are you willing to change in your life in order to achieve them? And so when somebody comes to work with me, a lot of the time, in many cases, especially if the scale causes anxiety, I will ask them not to weigh themselves, and we will focus on different measures of progress. And surprisingly, when they do step on the scale down the line, they'll find that it actually has been moving in the way that they want, without them actually being obsessive about weighing themselves every day or every week or focusing on that number going down. So those are just a few reasons why I believe that we can't just be relying on the scale for progress, and that when we're gauging, just on how much you weigh, remember that when people look at you, they don't know if you weigh 150 pounds or 60 kilos or 58 kilos, and so that's when, we are wanting to change our bodies. Usually it depends on how we see ourselves and how other people see us. And so in that case, we want to look at, why are we doing this? What are the things that are really important to us when it comes down to changing our bodies? And how can we focus on things other than the scale to do that?